Good day, everyone. I am Shara Fabiason, taking a Bachelor in Science Hospitality Management in the school at Pinma Cagayan de Oro College from the subject of BAM 221, the Strategic Management. So, lesson title for today, we have the EFE, which is the External Factor Evaluation, and the IFE, which is the Internal Factor Evaluation Matrix. For the lesson objectives, so number one is understand what the IFE and the EFE matrix do. Number two, create an EFE and IFE matrix. So for the introduction for today, in this module, we will discuss the topic of creating the inputs of strategy formulations. You will have to prepare revised topics on environment analysis in order to help better understand and link in to the strategy formula. So you will be able to learn link in this module. So what is the IFE matrix? The letter IFE are the acronym for External Factor Evaluation, which show how effectively the company's current strategy responds to external opportunities and threats. It's viewed as a strategic tools that used to investigate a company's external environment and to identify the available opportunities and threats. The IFE matrix, which stand for Internal Factor Evaluations. This strategy tools is used to evaluate the internal environment of companies and discover both the strength and weaknesses. Strength and weaknesses are used as the key internal factors in the evaluation. For the understanding, the internal and external factors evaluation matrices have been introduced by Fred R. David in his book, The Strategic Management. According to the author, both tools are used to summarize the information gained from companies' external and internal environment analysis. The summarized information is to evaluate and use for further purposes, such as build the SWOT analysis, will be the next topic in Module 13. So, by the way, even though the tools are quite simplistic, they do the best job possible identifying and evaluating the key affecting factors. Both tools are nearly identical, so we'll only show an example for an external factors and evaluation matrix right now. So this is the example of external factor evaluation matrix, and we have the internal factor evaluation matrix. And for the external evaluation matrix, so we have the opportunities and threats, while the internal factor, we have the strength and weaknesses. For evaluate the problem of the company, we have the key external factor, weight, rating, weight score. And the same thing of the external factor, they have the internal factor and weight and rating score. When we're using the IFE matrix, which is the internal factor matrix, and the strength and weaknesses are used as the key to internal factors in the evaluation. So we're looking for the strength as why do you do better or have more valuable than your competitors have. In case of the weakness, as which area of your company you could improve and at least catch up with your competitors. So the general rule of this is to identify the 10 to 20k external factors and additional to 10 to 30k internal factors, but you should identify as small as factors as possible. So we have here the k external factors. We have only the 7, and for the k external factors, we have 11. So each k factor should assign a weight range for 0.0, which is the low importance, then 1.0 is high importance. The number of indicates how important the factor would be equal important, which is impossible scenario in our world. The sum of all weights must equal 1.0. Separated factors should not be given too much emphasis because the success in an industry is really determined by one or few factors. In our first example, the most significant factors in our opportunities, we have the perceived food market growing by 15% next year in our largest market. So we have of here weight is 0.0 24. And for the threats, we have the contract with the main customer expires in 2 months. So we already done for the weight. The next is rating. The meaning of rating is different in each matrix. So we will explain them separately. The EFE matrix, which is the external factor evaluation matrix. The rating is external matrix, refers to how effectively companies' current strategy responds to the opportunities and threats. The number of range is from 4 to 1, where 4 means a superior response, while the 3 above average response, 2 the average response, and 1 will be the poor response. Rating as well as weight are assigned subjectively to each factor in our example. We can see that the company's response to the opportunities is rather than poor, because only one opportunities has received a rating of 3, while the rest have received the rating of 1. For the IFE matrix, they have the proper steps of how to evaluate the IFE matrix. So first is we have here the list 8 to 10 most important strength and weaknesses. Second is assign a weight 0.0 or not important, or 1.0 is important to each factors based on the factor to being successful in the firm's industry. This is what. And for the step 3, we have the assign a 1 or 4 rating to each factors to indicate how effective the firm's current strategies respond to the factors, which is the first is major weaknesses is 1, while the minor weaknesses is 2, and minor strength will be the 3, and the last major strength is 4. For the step 4, we have the weighted score and weight times rating. The step 5 is to indicate the company current performance in terms of profitability and market shares. So when using the external factor evaluation matrix, we identify the key external factor to opportunities and threats, so that are affecting or might affect a company. Where do we get these factors from? So simple, by analyzing the environment with the tools like the PES analysis or PEST analysis, or the Poster 5 forces, or the competitive profile analysis. For this video, I want to show you an explanation of the Poster 5 forces. Please watch this.
Most people think of business competition as a tug of war between rivals, with each competing for more sales or market share. But according to Harvard Business School professor Michael Porter, competition is more complex than that. It's not about who's the biggest. It's about who is the most profitable. And profitability is defined by 5 competitive forces. Let's start with your buyers, or customers, who would always be happier to pay less and get more. In the airline industry, price competition is fierce because so many travelers just want the cheapest flight. Then, there are your suppliers, who'd ideally like to be paid more and deliver less. Powerful suppliers will use their clout to raise prices or insist on other more favorable terms. A third source of competition comes from substitute products or services that meet the same basic need you do. These aren't always obvious rivals. The toughest competitors may come from different industries. New entrants can also create tension. For instance, Southwest Airlines challenged the industry by flying just one kind of airplane, reducing costs and allowing it to offer better ticket deals. This pushed other carriers to spend more to retain their customers. Finally, you still have to fight your existing rivals, and intense competition reduces everyone's profitability. The major airlines have been in this position for years, forcing them to defend increasingly narrow profit margins, with fees for exit row upgrades, checked bags, even snacks. These 5 forces define every industry structure and shape your company's future. Once you understand them, you can make better predictions, create more competitive strategies, and increase your profits.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching and may God bless you all. Keep safe from harm and more. Once again, I am Shara Fabiason. Believe that whenever you understand what's happening in your life, just close your eyes, take a breath and say, God, I know it is your plan. Just help me through it. Bye-bye.